Welcome to Speak Free with Matty G, the podcast that celebrates free speech, truth, and open discussion. All right, welcome to the second episode of Speak Free with Matty G. I am joined here by Ricky Gauci. How are you?
Good, you, man?
I'm good. It's good having you here.
Beautiful, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. All right, what have you been up to? Let's talk.
I was working, man, you know, keeping the business going, just working on my own personal sort of things, and keeping busy.
So those personal sort of things, and I know we will touch on this a bit today.
Yeah.
But if anyone follows you on Instagram or Facebook or anything, they'd see the things you post and, and what you're into in terms of sharing with others. Can you touch on that a bit? Yeah,
so personal interests, obviously massive on self-development, love improving myself, always sort of been into that. I think that's essential to a happy life, if we're being completely honest, moving forward. Recently, in the past 2 to 3 sort of years, got big on spirituality. Really started to delve into like self-realization and how to deal with thoughts, emotions, all that sort of mental health sort of thing. Yeah. Because I went through a few things myself, so I kind of was forced into learning this sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a good thing that I got into.
Yeah. Yeah. So with those personal things that you go through, I think me and you are quite similar in the mindset of this, is that you do have to go through some shit in life to come to realizations. Otherwise you never do grow. And I mean, everyone goes through shit. Yeah. And it's how you deal with it. How do you see that sort of? Yeah,
definitely. Like even though in the moment, and this would go for everyone, in the moment, you always think like, you know, this is the worst thing that could ever happen. This is so terrible, this whole situation. But it's only in retrospect when you look back and you're like, oh my, like if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't know what I know now. Yeah. And I'd be so like ignorant to what I currently know. It's truly like things like that. Everything has a lesson to be extracted from it. The worst possible situations carry the greatest lessons, and I think that's a really, really important perspective to have when you're going through tough times, to understand that in the future this will actually help you. This has a lesson. You just have to uncover and find what it is.
Yeah. I've often I read something recently that it made me think about how I look back on different situations, and it was something like, if you read the same book 10 years apart, it'll be like, and it's not just that you forgot it, but the parts you remember completely differently, and it'll have a complete different impact on you. And that's like reading a book, that's just like, a very simple thing to do. But that's like general life as well. Is that I guess, when you look back on things, like to think of how it was impacting you then, to how that sort of thing would impact you now. Yeah. And then again in 10 years time from here.
Massively.
Completely different.
Exactly.
Completely different each time.
That's because you're reading the same book, but you're, in essence, like you're a completely different person. You've gone through things that now you can, for example, I read the book, that book that actually started to get me into spirituality was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Read that book and it helped me immensely, like honestly helped me more than anything would ever have. And then after I read that book, I kind of had some of the teachings down pat, but a lot of it was definitely misunderstood. And then probably a year later, I reread the book and I was like, oh my God, like I missed so much of this book just because I didn't actually understand. I'm not going to say understand. I didn't actually experience the teachings in my life. Yeah. And then you go back to it and you're like, okay, now. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's super interesting to, I guess, to see things from a completely different perspective. See, for me, like I'm heaps. Whenever I go through shit, I always can pick out the people who haven't grown spiritually that give you advice. I don't know if you're the same. I don't know if you're like hitting up mates, or whatever, for a bit of advice or just to vent or whatever it may be, and they'll tell you things. Like for me, a big one is like. When someone like fucks you over or pisses you off in a way, or like you have a falling out with someone. For me, a big thing is like noticing where they're at personally in their journey, and why they would react the way they did and why they've done a certain thing. And I see that in a deep way. I don't know if that's just, I don't know.
No, massively, man.
Yeah. And other people will give you like just straight out like, oh, well, fuck him. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Like, he cut him off. And it's like, oh, fuck, you don't understand, man. Like,
But that point that you just said, I have a few things to say. So from the point that you just said that certain people, like everyone is operating out of a certain paradigm, right? There is, say, for example, and I don't even know these people, but like Tom and James, right? Tom is operating out of this paradigm of like, he's going through a lot of things, so he's gonna, obviously, it's like projection. Your outer, like what you project on the external is a reflection of the internal. So if you talk to someone, so for example, I know certain people and they're very angry, they hate the world, and they're very like far from nice to me, right? But I don't take that personally, because I know on a deeper level this person is experiencing like an immense world of like inner turmoil, negative thoughts, negative emotions, and they don't know how to deal with that, so they're projecting it onto me, and that it develops a deep sense of empathy. It's no longer like, oh, like that person's an asshole. It's like that person's going through something that's making them do
that's
this.
how I see things too. And people will so often be like, no, you're too nice. You're just too nice to people, and you take too much shit from people. And I guess there is a point where you have to draw a line.
Yeah, definitely.
And not let it affect you.
Boundaries, they're important.
The boundaries are 100% important, and I need to definitely improve mine. But, like, in terms of, like, I don't know. I think too many people see things way too black and white.
Yeah,
and,
massively.
And it's not that.
It's not
black and white at all. And yeah, I don't know. Anyway, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's completely true, man. Like it's just the projection of the internal, and it's such an eye opener, because it no longer, like, you change your whole paradigm from, oh my god, they're such an asshole, this and that, to they're going through this, they're going through that. Now I understand. Now I want to actually, and it seems so paradoxical, but the people that treat you really shit, it's almost like, I want to treat you nice because I know you're going through something. I know there's something on the inside that's making you act like this, and I genuinely like want to help you. And the teachings and all that sort of thing that I've learnt, and all the books that I've read, and all this sort of thing that I've got into, and this isn't coming from an egotistical point of view, but I've gathered a fair amount of knowledge, and I genuinely feel like I could help people with like overcoming anxiety, depression, all this sort of thing. So that's where I'm coming from. When people treat me like that, I'm just like, I want to help you so bad, but it's so hard to, because these teachings, it's to truly help someone, you need to quite literally pull their whole perception of reality from underneath them.
Yeah.
You know, the whole, you're not your thoughts, you're not your emotions, you're the awareness behind it, all this sort of thing.
Yeah, I did want to delve into that.
Yeah,
with you
we can definitely talk about that.
Yeah. So I do. I guess maybe because I'm not as into it as you are, but a lot of the stuff you post, I do actually look at it. I study it. Like, I study the shit you post. Like, I'm like, like, I hold my finger down so it doesn't go to the next fucking slide on your story.
No, it's good.
And I'm like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
And I try and like break it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some of the shit I do see, and I'm like, fuck, I don't really like get. That's why I was so keen to have this chat. Because I was like, I don't actually get that. But yeah, can you just sort of explain to you guys out there, but what it sort of what all that sort of is?
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
Yeah.
Well, should I start with how I got into this sort of thing?
Yeah.
So
Let's
I was
start right from the
probably about
beginning.
2 to 3 years ago. I was going through a lot of mental turmoil. I was experiencing a lot of intrusive thoughts, heavy emotions, and it was almost like every single day was like a living hell, because I was like trapped in a prison within my own mind, thoughts, emotions, or I didn't know how to deal with these things. And, it's not taught it should be taught in schools, mental health, all that sort of thing. It should be like the number one subject, because it's like the leading thing of suicides, depression, anxiety, all that sort of shit. People can't escape their own heads. You can suppress it, you can do all this sort of shit, but you can't get out. Like it's an internal battle, and it's the hardest one anyone will ever face. But yeah, I was going through a lot of inner turmoil myself every single day, and it cost me jobs, it cost me relationships, friendships, it cost me a lot of things, because as I said before, now that I can recognize it in other people, the only reason I can recognize it in others is because I was that person once. There was a point where I was projecting my inner world onto the external, because there was so much turmoil going inside, and I felt like I had no power And so I was not angry at myself, but just like very, very frustrated.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was inescapable. That's honestly how it felt.
Yeah.
And there was a point there, as you know, I don't drink alcohol, do drugs, any of that. And, you know, I don't have anything against people who do that sort of thing. Just going to put that out there. But it got to, it got to a point where it was like, you know, I was going through all this inner turmoil, and I'm just like, well, like, what do I do here? I was at like a fork in the road. I'm like, do I just, you know, just like do what a lot of people do that I know will just like go out on the weekend and just drink their fucking lives away and take all these sort of drugs and just numb the fuck out of this inner hurt that I had going on. And so I'm like, do I do that? And I'm like, but I really don't want to go down that path. I'm like, that's not me. And there has to be another way out of this. It can't just be, you know, it can't just be the substance abuse. You know what I mean? So that was where I was at with that. And then I started reading a book on, I can't remember the name of the book, but it was on intrusive thoughts. And that was talking to me about like intrusive thoughts and all that sort of thing. But it actually had a quote from Eckhart Tolle out of The Power of Now. And so I'm like, oh, well, that's a really good quote. Like, I fell in love with the quote. And the quote was, you are not your thoughts and emotions, you're the awareness behind them. So I was like, okay, I'm like, that is, especially first seeing that, I was like, what do you mean I'm not my thoughts and emotions? I'm like, yes, I am. Like, I was just especially in Western society, where we're raised to believe you are your thoughts and emotions. Think right, think good thoughts, think positive, all this sort of thing. That's how everyone's raised. And I'm just like, what does that mean? So I'm like, I'm naturally very curious. So I've read the book, didn't quite understand the teachings, if I'm being completely honest. It was very, in my perspective back then, very woo-ha. You know what I mean? Very like out there. I was just like, this is like almost like, but I didn't have like a negative perception towards it because I really needed the help. So I had a very, very open mind because I was like, I need anything that will help me, man. I just need it right now. You know what I mean? So I started reading that, and that taught me that, and this is through experience. Like, I've said this to multiple people. The teachings that I teach and want to start teaching in the future, I don't want you to believe me. I don't want you to take my words to be the gospel. This is something that you need to experience personally to truly understand it.
Yeah.
You know, I could sit here and say these things all day, but if you haven't experienced it, it's still foreign to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I was at with that. So I started reading this, and they really introduced me to the realization that I wasn't my thoughts or emotions. And it started with the thoughts. That's what I focused on at the start. But it was like, pretty much was like, observe your mind. And I was like, how can you, because I thought that I was the mind, you know, I was the thoughts. But then I'm like, okay, well, you can actually like listen to the voice in your head. If you're listening to the voice in your head, who's the one who's listening? You know what I mean? Like that, these are the questions I started to get into, like self-inquiry, and started to go down that path. And I was like, okay, well, these thoughts, because I was having some very intrusive thoughts about certain things. Not going to get into that. It's obviously very personal, but
no, that's okay.
But so I was like, I started to, because I kept having these thoughts, and I couldn't stop them. And then I was like, I obviously don't want to think these thoughts, right? So if I don't want to think them, why don't I just stop? That was like one of the biggest things for me. I was like, why don't I just stop thinking about it? And then I'm like, hold on. I'm not the one thinking these thoughts. These thoughts are merely appearing within the mind. I can't help what I think about. It's like, it's just a natural phenomena, or like happening, that like things that arise within the physical body.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense now. Just put a pin in that though. Yeah. I do want to just bring up something. So I got a NIDA for acting, and last term our tutor Garth, he was talking about doing like when he was like getting taught acting.
Yeah.
And his tutor was like, find that inner monologue. And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what the fuck?
I completely get that, what he's saying. Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, your inner voice. And we're all like, yeah, your inner voice. And he's like, I don't have a fucking inner voice. And there was another girl in the class that goes, I don't have an inner voice. And I'm like, what the fuck? what do you mean?
Yeah.
By the way, sorry, this is just, I'm just going to fix this shit up.
No, that's cool.
Because I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we go. Full screen now.
Yeah, so the inner monologue of, like, some people have an inner monologue, some people don't.
Yes, and I did not know that. I just thought everyone, because I have an inner voice, like it's always fucking talking.
So do I.
And I thought, like, I think most people do,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, and then it was like such a big debate, and I was like, how the fuck do you think? Like, if you don't hear it, how the fuck do you know it's like...
Is it almost like if they don't have an inner monologue? Because I know thoughts can appear in various forms.
Well, yeah, I think they more appear in like images for them.
Visual representation, yeah.
But mine appear in visual as well. Like, mine don't just appear as a voice, like... I don't know.
You know,
I just thought like everyone thought the same, but they fucking don't.
What about this for a perspective on that? What if everyone has an inner monologue, although those that believe that they don't are so identified with that inner monologue that they can't actually perceive it.
Because so they don't hear any difference. Like it's just
they can't necessarily listen to it because they think that that's them. And they think, you know what I mean? And
that is interesting.
And the ones that can hear it, they have a slightly higher level of awareness.
Yeah.
To the internal.
No, that does make sense, actually. Oh, so the ones that can hear it have a slightly higher awareness. Well,
I don't know. I can't.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Because I can hear mine all the fucking time. Mine never shuts the fuck up.
But yeah, who am I to comment on that? You know, I don't know what's going on in everyone's heads, but that's just a bit of my theory.
But yeah, they were like, we're like, how do you act on things? Like, do you think before you like act? And they're like, well, yeah, but we don't think in like hearing it in words. Like we just get the thought and we act. It's like, if I see a kid drowning in a pool, like it's not like, oh my god, you should go fucking save them. Fuck, is their parents around? Like it's just like kid drowning, bang,
impulsive,
you know what I mean? It's
just
like,
boom, yeah,
and I'm like
automatic nearly.
I'm like, fuck, I would have a full on convo before I jump in that pool after that kid. Like it would be a full on fucking argument in my head. Like, fucking where are their parents? Fucking hell, fucking dumb cunts. And then I'd be like, fuck, you know, jump in. But it would like there'd be the same result, but it might just take longer to get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found that very interesting.
Yeah, no, that's really cool.
And yeah, because when you were talking about like inner thoughts and that, I was like, does everyone know this? Like, I don't know. I only found it out like fucking a few weeks ago. So
yeah.
I was like, fuck, I thought everyone had it. So, yeah. Anyway, so go on, continue on your spiritual journey.
Yes, I was reading that book and that really, really bring me to the realization that I wasn't the voice in my head. And that I know how absolutely crazy that sounds, you know, especially like I was very, I've known about this stuff and like I've been very confident in these teachings and it's like, it's benefited my experience here significantly, but I have only recently started talking about it because it is it's like not a taboo topic, but it's like you can very easily be perceived as someone who's lost it. You know what I mean? So that's
the crazy thing part, isn't it? These days, is anyone who questions shit or takes shit in a deeper way than what they're taught by society. And I mean, even like taught by society, but like, oh, you're like got taught, you know, like no, you're literally taught by society how to fucking act. You're conditioned from birth.
Yeah, literally.
Like a birth certificate is a fucking conditioning. Like now that motherfucker's got to pay tax.
Yeah,
like, well done.
Yeah,
you know. But like people, it's just crazy to me that things that just aren't the norm are just automatically that's crazy.
Exactly.
You're a fucking crazy
motherfucker. You need to question things, man.
You do. You have to 100%. You have to question.
Don't just take everything in and be like.
I mean, I touched on COVID last week.
Yeah.
But anyone who's not questioning that shit, get checked, man. Get checked because you should be questioning the fuck out of that shit because shit's fucking fucked up, man.
It's a bit sketch, isn't it?
Oh, it's more than sketch. It's fucked. Full fucked. But anyway, I won't touch on that too much this week because I didn't want it to be about that. But yeah, I mean, do you find that? Like, do you find that from like what you post? Has anyone actually? This is interesting to me. Has anyone ever like messaged you and gone, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Or like,
well,
or have you seen like unfollows? Like,
massively, yeah. Yes. So there's definitely I've had a few people actually message me and be like, you know, like, what are you talking about? All this stuff is bullshit, this, that. And you know what? I've never been someone to care about, like, I've never been someone who cares about what other people think. I've always had that, like, you don't like me? I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, I like me. That's all that matters. It's like, I'm massive on authenticity, speak your truth, all that sort of thing. And like, if you honestly speak your truth and you be 100% authentically you, put on no social facade, put on no front, none of this bullshit. Because for one, you have to maintain that shit, and that is you're gonna come loose.
100%.
You know what I mean? And it's just hard. It's effort. Just be yourself, and it's so much
be
easier.
yourself, don't lie, because then you don't have to remember any fucking lying.
Exactly.
But yeah, 100%, totally agree with that. I actually remember. I won't just say their name. I fucking wish I could. But message me. They probably will watch this. Who knows? Message me on Facebook and went. I just messaging to let you know that I have to unfriend you.
Really?
I just don't agree with anything you post, and I think it's absolutely disgusting. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Like, no nice, like, take care, just doing this because I don't want to. It was like I'm letting you know that I'm unfriending you. And I was like, oh, don't give up. Fuck.
Yeah, literally.
Just do it. Like, you think you're that amazing.
Exactly. That your absence is going to fuck my whole life up.
Yeah. Like, and I just, like, laughed. I just fucking laughed at it because it was just hilarious to me.
In this day and age, man, you have to, like, I'm sure there's multiple topics that mean you have completely opposing views on.
Yeah.
You have to accept that people are going to have different worldviews than you.
Exactly.
And you have to be able to, like, bro, I've got mates. Our worldviews and everything that we stand for and all this sort of thing, completely opposite. But you know what? I look past that because we do have some things in common. There's certain things that make us just vibe together, and we don't have to talk about the other things.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you like fucking Pepsi and I like Coke. We can't be friends. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, literally, who gives a fuck?
I know. I have many friends with very opposing views or very indifferent views to me that just don't care for things I talk about. And it just doesn't come up in conversation then. Like,
yeah,
it just
exactly.
doesn't, like, it just doesn't bother me, you know? Like,
exactly.
But yeah, it is pretty crazy that people would put their whole friendship on.
Exactly. You're like, what?
And something, I mean, I wouldn't say trivial because things that obviously each other care about are obviously not trivial to them, but things that don't really change a friendship and they'll put that friendship on that, you know, like.
It's because they're...
Nothing's personal against me. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to a lot of... we're going a little bit off track here, but it's completely fine.
That's okay. It's a podcast. It's meant to happen.
We're going... with the whole, like, the reason that a lot of people get offended in that sense is because... And you'll find that a lot of people place their sense of identity on things, right?
On things rather than themselves.
Exactly. So, like, for example, say someone... I'm just going to use football because it's a very, very good example. So say you have two people. One person goes for the Bulldogs. One person goes for the Eagles, right? Whatever.
Fucking both.
Right. So let's say they're a diehard Bulldogs fan and they find out their friend, who they both share the love of art for. They both share, you know, they like fucking all the same shit. But those football teams, and because they're so ingrained in that, you like Eagles, I like Bulldogs. Bulldogs, fucking fuck off, we can't be friends.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know. It is mental.
It is mental. Bro.
Although when it comes to state of origin, I think that's where you draw the line. No, I'm really kidding.
I'll go for the Blues.
I was actually talking to my mate. I didn't know he was born in Queensland, and he's so and he was showing me his Queensland jerseys and that. I went, I'm starting to rethink this friendship, man. Just staring him up, but I would never. You know what I mean? Like yeah, have the banter and have hatred, sport hatred at in the time of the game, but afterwards you have a beer with them and you fucking. It's the same as when you play footy. Like after you could go and smash someone and you'll fucking have a bit of a blue and you punch him in the face and then afterwards you shake hands. It's fucking all good. Like
you want to talk about the real thing that divides people? Religion, bro.
100%.
I'm not. I'm personally not.
And
very,
the government.
I'm not very personally like religious in the sense of like God and stuff like that. But
I think me and you are quite similar in that.
Yeah, but I definitely think that I don't know if you want to talk conspiracy or whatever, but I don't know if it was designed to divide, but it does a very, very fucking good job at that. Like you speak to, even though every religion praises love, unity, all this, we are all one, equality, all that, they definitely don't practice it. Like it's like. It's my religion, and if you don't like it, you're wrong, and I'm right. And fucking what? What happened to unity? What happened to love? You know?
Exactly.
It's all like a
I
massive.
mean, if it was all about love, they wouldn't be raping little boys in the churches, would they? So,
fuck. No, there's definitely some shit going on, isn't there?
Oh, there's people, in every institution. I just said that. Don't get fucking offended, guys. It's all good. It's the truth. Like you can't be offended by the truth. Well, you can be, but you're a dickhead. But no, I do agree. It is a huge divide in people. Yeah, for sure. It's one of those big things. I think that what else would you say would be a huge that causes divide?
Fucking politics.
Yeah, well, politics is a big one. I mean, we really government is just a whole government's just fucked. Although I would still rather divide with politics than live under a dictatorship.
Yeah.
I'd rather people. But what's happening in America now is actually, it's the worst it's ever been, for sure. And the mainstream media is definitely a big part to blame for that, for the hatred they drum up.
Yeah.
Trump supporters always get the bad rap, and there are many Trump supporters who are absolute fuckwits. There's many Biden supporters or Hillary supporters or fucking whoever
Exactly,
else
you can't.
are absolute fuckwits. But to blame it on one, as the mainstream media basically did, I've never seen a divide like that.
Yeah,
in
the
America
media,
before.
the media in general is very corrupt. Obviously, not RVG media. That's the
Yeah.
go-to. But no,
And not speak free, baby.
but yeah, the media, bro. It is like it. It definitely has like a. I definitely like personally. I am so not involved in the news or the politics. I am so out of the loop in that. And call it ignorant, call it whatever you wish. I just do not. It's not I don't care, because you know I definitely should care for worldly topics that are gonna affect me. It's just like mental health thing, and like I'm big on like I'm picky on what I consume in terms of like books, media, all that sort of thing. I don't want to watch the news that's just spilling hatred and fear and all that sort of shit into my mind.
Yeah.
It actually affects the thoughts you have. So
Well, yeah, there was actually there's a really good song from Ziggy Alberts. I think everyone knows I'm a Ziggy Alberts fan. Follows me. I post about him a lot. It's always the song I use on my Instagram stories. But yeah, it's just basically about it touches on COVID, obviously, but also just like the media and the fear they bring in to people, and the divide it causes. Like basically, so if there's any song you want to listen to that touches on the topics we've sort of been talking about, it's definitely that. But yeah, I mean, it does, and especially at a time like this, there's such a divide based on what your view is on like the world issue at the moment. Like the only thing everyone talks about is fucking COVID. But such a divide, man. Like huge. I've never seen it before. Hey, like I've never seen people that chose not to wear a mask be treated like fucking criminals for walking through the shops or sitting on a train or something like that. And people in a mask all like banding together like, why the fuck are you not in a mask? You know, like, but yeah. Anyway, I keep touching on COVID. I didn't want to do that, but yeah, in terms of divide in the media, like yes, we're seeing it every day now. So I can understand why you wouldn't want to watch the news. I still look at the news. I actually really like looking. See, I studied journalism, so I like looking at it and
but
going.
that's it. You have to be involved.
Well, yeah,
really, you know. What I mean?
I mean, doing this now and that. Yeah, I am. You know, I need to keep up. I guess. But I look at it and I just fucking laugh, bro. Like I just laugh. Because, it's just bullshit after bullshit after bullshit story.
And
like,
it's like, man, like the whole, you want to talk conditioning, news is the biggest thing of conditioning of like keeping, and I'm going to touch on like vibrational frequencies here, but like it's all about paradigms, vibrational frequencies, they all go hand in hand, but like if you say so the masses watch the news religiously every day. Most households, so 6 p.m. I don't even know what time it's on, to be honest.
PM,
but yeah, they watch it every day. So every day they're getting that daily reminding of like, this is going on, that's going on, house prices are going up, you need to buy a house, you need to sell, all this bullshit just going in their head all the fucking time. So now their whole worldview is that based off like fear and all the, you know, because how often does the news, I don't watch it, but I'm pretty sure they don't post much fucking positive shit, do they?
No, never.
It's because negative sells a lot more.
Any positive stuff will come on like sunrise, but even that's all negative, you know. A breakfast TV will be like a bit more uppity, a bit more positive. We've got a funny weather guy, we fucking did our good deed for the day before we pushed our propaganda. But yeah, on a general basis, it's all fucking bad news, isn't it? It's always bad news. And then, I guess, I mean, if I didn't have to watch it, I mean, I don't have to watch it. That's probably not the right way to say it.
In a sense,
if it didn't impact what I do or what I want to achieve, then I would just switch it off.
that's what I'm saying. In a sense, you nearly do have to watch it because
Yeah.
you're so involved. You have to be in the loop, and if you're not in the loop, you're just like outdated. Like, how can you be in journalism and not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very correlated.
Yeah,
But,
I think so. Yeah, I just wish it was a bit more real news.
Yeah.
Instead of some fucking fake bullshit.
Well, it's just like anything, like news. It's like, in essence, it's a business, right? They sell views.
Exactly.
What sells, like, exaggeration? You know,
Yeah.
something might happen. There might be. I'm just going to use some.
Who's gonna pay for an ad spot in a fucking happy-go-lucky
Exactly.
fucking thing that no one wants to read?
It's not like,
No one.
oh, this guy won a race. People aren't rushing to their TV. COVID, it's rushing through
Yeah.
like all this bullshit. Because, oh shit, like, we're in danger. We need to watch this.
I know.
Bro, best thing I ever did straight up was
Danger.
not watch that bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
straight up. To be honest, it actually, my parents split up, whatever, back in the day. And, it was for a point there, for a period of time, I actually didn't have, like, access to TV. So it was like, even if I wanted to watch the news, which I'm pretty sure I used it when I was younger, but whatever. But even if I wanted to watch the news, I couldn't even do it. And then I just got ingrained in this habit. To be honest, I don't even have TV hooked up to my, I just,
Your
if I
antenna?
want to watch anything, it's just Netflix, bro.
Netflix,
Like, it's
yeah.
2021. Like, what are we doing?
I know. Well, I watch a lot of alternative news. I must say, I look at your news.com.au and your 7 and that just to find out what the mainstream's fucking spewing today. And then I'll watch alternative news. I'm really into like Candace Owens. Come on my podcast. All of those guys like Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, all these like sort of conservative commentators or like alternative commentators. And there's a few like guys, especially in regard to COVID, I follow quite a lot of people like Tased Way. She's kind of like against mandatory vaccinations. Touches on that. She's been doing that for a really long time. And I'd love to get her on here, actually. I was actually thinking about messaging her on Instagram the other day. But yeah, and there's a few other people like Will Twiggy. He's down in Melbourne. He's like a human rights activist. He's held a few protests and stuff. So in terms of like seeing their stuff, I look at their stuff, and it's not just because I agree with them, because like some things they say I don't actually like fully agree with, but I'll just be like, fuck, it's nice to like, if there wasn't, could you imagine in a time like this if there wasn't social media? Like, I know that it's bad too, like there's a lot of fucking negatives with social
Power
media.
behind the fucking massive corporations and shit that they would have. Hey,
But yeah, exactly. If there was no social
there was no
media,
opposing view.
and I mean, even social media, like it's hard these days. Like you get shut down and that for giving an alternative because it's pushing fucking misinformation. Fuck off. Ban me again, Zuckerberg, I dare ya. But if that wasn't there at all, right? Could you imagine like fucking Channel 9 and Channel 7 and the ABC just having full control over all media? Anything you read is them, and
Exactly.
like Rupert Murdoch with like, you know, all his papers and shit. That's all you'd get. That's fucking all you'd
Literally,
get.
yeah.
Like maybe we would live in a more peaceful fucking zone because there'd be no one to fucking disagree with. Yeah, like you wouldn't be able to disagree with it. You'd just be like, oh yeah, it must be true.
But
fucking everyone's saying it.
That's the thing, man. Like news and shit like that. I'm massive on like obviously, you know, the mind and thoughts and stuff like that. And the way it correlates, in my view, to the news is, for one, the subconscious mind that gets programmed. And so, if you want to talk like thoughts and stuff, some thoughts arise from the subconscious mind, right? The subconscious mind is always like recording. It's always anything, any conversation you have, any book you read, any movie you watch, it always goes in. You can't pick and choose what gets absorbed. And then some thoughts arise from that. So say you're watching news every day and they're just putting fear and this and that in your head and your head and your head. And then thoughts arise within your mind, whatever. And then, especially if you're identified with the thoughts, they're not only going to be thoughts that arise within your mind, they're actually going to lead to actions. Because if you're completely identified with the body mind, and you're identified with, and you think you're everything, and you think you're the person who thinks the thoughts and whatever, all your thoughts that arise within the mind, they're going to lead to the correlated actions. And then the actions are going to have the correlated consequences. And quite literally, the unconscious will dictate your life.
Yeah.
So if you want to go back to it, the news will dictate your life. And they choose how your life goes.
Yeah.
And that's getting mad, like, string like conspiracy type shit, but it's true. Like it is a thing of programming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think, yeah. I mean, I think everyone's been programmed.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Since, day one, on how to think, what to eat, what to consume in terms of entertainment, everything. Like, everything. And whoever thinks outside of that square that they've created, like, as far as mainstream media is concerned, like, to them, we should be outcasted and throw away the key. Like, a good, I guess, example of this is anti-vaxxers. Anti-vaxxer. That's such a negative fucking word. You know what I mean? For someone who just wants the choice of what some motherfucker puts inside their body. Like, how is that like a crazy thing? I don't understand how that's a crazy thing.
Exactly.
For
Like,
people to get their
it's
head
your
around.
body, you do what you want type thing.
You know what's funny to me is so many people I've seen like, just get the facts, are the same people who are like, abortion, you know, my body, my choice. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you can't have it both ways, man.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, if you're for abortion and you believe in, you know, the right to choose what happens to your body, then you should be pro-choice for vaccinations as well. Like,
I'm just like, in my view, I'm not going to class myself as an anti-vaxxer or a vaxxer or anything. I don't like to take sides, but I do like to have free will, and I like to be able to choose what I do and don't put in my body. You know what I mean?
That's where I'm at too. Yeah, I don't classify myself as an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah. For any reason, if I don't want the vaccine, or if I do want the vaccine, I want to be the one who chooses. I don't want it to be like, get your mandatory things or you're going to get fucking arrested. Like, what? Like, you know what I mean?
I know.
What is this, the Nazi
And sorry,
camp?
I think I should just clarify really quick that I didn't mean I don't classify myself as an anti-vaxxer as though I don't agree with the sentiment of anti-vaxxers. I don't agree with the word anti-vaxxer.
The terminology
used.
used.
I don't agree with the terminology used. I don't think anyone should be classified as an anti-vaxxer. I think we should all be classified as pro-freedom fighters. You know? Because that's really what it comes down to, is that it's just pro-choice. Like, you're for freedom. Like, you're for fucking deciding what happens to you. Like, I don't see how that's such a negative thing. I'll never understand that.
And I fucking hate needles. I hate needles.
I hate needles too. Shit. It's literally the only reason I haven't tried heroin yet.
That's it. You gotta relax a little bit every now and then. No.
I'm only kidding. That's not the only reason. Because it's a fucked up drug and I wouldn't do it.
It's not exactly a party
drug. I would want to try it, but before I die, maybe. If I'm like 90, when I get to like 90, I'll be like, fuck it, you know.
On the deathbed, get on the dirty H.
Honestly, yeah. They're like, fuck the morphine. Put that in me. You got a spoon and a lighter?
Ultimate pre-workout, bro.
Yeah. Fucking dead. Fucking hell. Pre-workout to heaven. But yeah. So anyway, that is interesting. But let's touch more on... Let's delve really deep into fucking the shit... I shouldn't say the shit you post. The stuff you post.
Yeah.
It's fucking interesting stuff. Do you want to bring up any as an example so they know what we're...
As in,
do you have
like,
any like saved on your phone that you can like bring
I
up?
got a lot in my head.
Okay.
Yeah, you know,
Well, done. Let's go.
I love
do
this
it.
sort of thing. But
yeah.
So with the whole thing, as I said, I arose like came to self-realization that I wasn't the thoughts, and then I got really good with that, and I really understood that. So at the start, I was really bad with it. I knew I wasn't my thoughts, but I still had a very toxic relationship with them.
Yeah.
Like, I would cling to the ones that I liked, and then I would resist the ones I didn't. I'm just like, oh, fuck that. Like, but what I came to realize is you have to truly experience this joy beyond the body mind. So that's like beyond thoughts and emotions. You can't pick and choose. You can't cling to the positive and resist the negative, because that's not how it works. It's called, the actual term is transcending duality. So you actually have to go beyond good and bad.
Okay. Yeah. What is it? Transcending
duality.
Duality.
And that could that goes into a little bit of a deeper sense.
I'm just gonna write that down.
Yeah, it's fun.
Only because I want to look more into that stuff. But yeah, because I've kind of I guess it was probably about October last year I really started to get. I think I was kind of just wrapped up in day-to-day sort of shit, and then something happened in my life that made me sort of go, hey, fucking, let's fucking delve a bit deeper into my actual being and who I am and what I want out of life, and and I started to come to these sort of realizations. So that's when I started to get into this stuff too. What was it? It was
transcending duality.
Transcending. So that's why I was also really keen for you to come on here, because once I saw the stuff you posted, and it's so funny to me because you've always been quite a quite of a motivational sort of person.
Oh,
for as long as I've known you, you have been. And for a long time, because I wasn't that person and I didn't care for that, it fucking pissed me off.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
I get what you.
And I'll be like 100% honest with you. And now it's like looking back, and it's funny because I touched on this earlier, how your perception changes. And I look back on it now and I think, fucking, that's mad. That's hectic stuff to be putting on social media. That's fucking mad. Like, no, instead I'm looking at some bitch at fucking Cranbar on a Saturday night posting for the 40th time that year going, great Saturday night, and being like, fucking and looking at your stuff and being like, oh, shut up. And it's like crazy to me now because I guess I've grown up and changed. But the stuff you were posting was actually like...
Yeah, well, I'll even touch on like my...
intuitive.
That sort of personal growth too, where how I was very like in the whole sense of like motivation, grind, fuck, sleep, just work, like all that sort of hardcore fucking just grind, entrepreneurial type mindset type shit. Yeah. And I still have aspects of that, but I've definitely it's evolved. Yeah. And it's evolved to heights that I'm personally really, really proud of, because it's no longer like, fuck, sleep, work hard, like do all this. It's like, no, I'm going to rest and then I'm going to be my best self tomorrow. And I'm not going to work hard. I'm going to work a little bit smarter, and I'm not going to, hustle my ass off to get this. Well, that's also hard work is incorporated into anything, but I'm going to act in a way that actually like attracts that into my life. And spirituality has changed my views and like just whole way of being completely.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Because I look at it now and I guess because I've reached a certain point in my life where things are starting to come together for me. I've worked hard to finally get some fruition with shit I've either gone to uni for or worked hard for or studied, and now I'm seeing that it does give you a much better mindset. I guess a better outlook on what can be achieved if you just with your mind.
Exactly.
Because you can work as hard as you want, but if you don't have the right mindset to it, like you may as well put the tools down. Like,
exactly.
Like if you have no set, I know people who bust their ass every day for 60 years and they end up really with fuck all. Like
it's also like hard work. Like I am not an advocate against hard work. Like
me neither.
I'm massive on
you must work hard to make it to do anything in life. I really do believe that. But you've also got to work hard in the right area.
Yeah, and it's like where it's all about the place from where it's coming from. Like I'm massive on hard work. I work fucking 8 to 10 hours a day as a tradesman. I run a business on the side, like gym. I love hard work, man. I thrive on it. Routine, all that sort of stuff. But it's all from like, the main thing that's changed for me is where is that coming from? It's no longer coming from a place of like, let's use the gym for example. I used to like, go to the gym, work out, and it was like, okay, like working out, it used to sort of be like for social media, like, oh, to build my thing of like, fuck, that guy's ripped, all that sort of shit, and what other people will think, and a little bit of like the perception that women will have of me and all that sort of thing. And now it has nothing to do with that, but I'm still working just as hard. And now it's coming from a place of, I genuinely love myself and I enjoy to have a really good body. I enjoy to be healthy. I deserve to be healthy.
Yeah.
Right. So I eat healthy because I deserve to be healthy. I don't put shit in my body because I deserve to have a great body. It's coming from a much better place, a place of self-love instead of a place of self-hatred. Yeah. Because before it was almost like, oh, look at my body, it's so shit, I have to work out. Now it's like, no, I love myself and I deserve to have a really good body.
Yeah. It's just different perception, isn't it? That's growth, man. It's growth. No, that's cool. That's really cool. I've put on like fucking a few kgs again.
No stress, man. It's not.
I lost 20 last year, and I reckon I've put on half of that again. Oh, it's fucking hard, eh? It's not easy. I don't know. You're probably looking at me like, shut up, cunt. It's
Nah,
fucking easy.
it's everyone's, everyone's different, and it's my biggest thing is for like anyone who wants to change anything, it's not a I don't necessarily agree with people who are goal focused in certain areas, especially for the gym and stuff. I spoke to a couple of people, a couple of kids and stuff that are like sort of come to me for advice, and they're just like, oh, I can't wait till I reach 80 kilos, like, and I get ripped. And, oh, whoa, once I get 6-pack abs, man. I'm just like, okay, but like, even if you get the 6-pack abs, and you reach 80 kilos, everything has to be maintained. Businesses, bodies, everything. It's not about reaching a goal. It's about changing and really adapting like who you are as a person to incorporate that into your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Who cares if I can reach 80 kilos of lean mass if that's not who I am? And if it's just reach that goal and go back to my old lifestyle, it's going to reverse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
We're talking about long term, man. I don't care about the next year, 2 years. While I do, I'm massive on like living in the present moment. But you want to make change? Let's change who you are. Let's change your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like that's where it's at.
Yeah. And change now, you know? Yeah, I think that's the biggest, especially with diets and stuff. People always be like, oh, let's wait. On Monday I'll do that. So why?
Well, you just went vegan. Let's talk about that.
I did not want to bring that up.
We're gonna
Because I don't know how long it's going to last.
That's right. Trial and error.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I watched some documentaries. Don't worry, I'm not going to go steal pigs off farms and shit. I'm not that sort of person. But yeah, just on a personal level, I don't really care what other people do. Everyone's their own person.
That's an awesome point to have. The whole you can have the highest ambitions. You can be like massively into the gym and massively into this politician or whatever.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean you force that on others. You know what I mean? That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah. So I just thought, for myself, I've watched a few documentaries. Seaspiracy was a big one for me. Just watched that on Netflix, and I was like, this is fucked. If anyone hasn't watched it, fucking please check it out, because it's actually fucking top notch. Like, it's such a good documentary, and everything in it is true. It doesn't just go with one thing. It shows you the hypocrisy of environmental groups and things like that. Like, for instance, this is a crazy stat. I think it was, now, like, don't definitely quote me on this because it was a quick thing they put up, but I'm pretty sure it was plastic straws kill 1,000 sea turtles worldwide in a year. 1,000, right? Which is a lot. It's still a lot. Fucking fishing nets, and I think it was just fishing nets, and like, obviously that coming from commercial fishing, kill 250,000 every year. Just in the US alone.
That's mental, eh?
Just in the US alone.
So, and where there's all this push for
and
non-plastic
all this,
straws.
yeah, and exactly, and that's what they were showing. What's every negative story about a sea turtle being in the media? Plastic straw, like it getting a plastic straw put from its nose and shit like that, or choking on it, or whatever. And also, fishing nets make up, like I think it's 55% of all the world's ocean. All the world's ocean's plastic.
Really?
Yeah,
that's fucked, eh?
Yeah, they're like single-use plastic. Fair enough. But if they want to actually stop a problem, then
I get the whole supply and demand thing of like fishing or whatever, but
it's fucked. Have you watched Seaspiracy?
No, I haven't, so I can't comment on that. But
gotta watch it.
I think personally, from personal thing, it's pretty fucking inhumane. The way they fish, just what do they do? Just drag the whole net on the bottom of the thing. Hey, see, that's fucked. That's like, where the fuck's the fair game? Where the fuck's the fair game in that?
Alarm,
Yeah, I better turn a few of those.
Better take the pill. Yeah.
On a bit of a schedule.
Do you reckon every time you hear an alarm on a girl's phone, it's always when they've got to take the pill?
Fuck.
I don't know. I've seen that happen before, multiple times.
It's probably a good idea they take it too.
Especially in the Hawkesbury. I know a few too many people who've had a few too many kids, a few too many years young. Each to their own.
That to be honest, bro, having a kid would change. Like, it would change your life drastically.
I know. My mate Corey had a kid. His second one's on the way. And totally changed him for the better. 100% for the better. He moved to WA. He got a job in the mines. Me and him used to just party all the time and just do stupid fucking shit. And now he's smartened up. And
it really forces you to mature, doesn't it? The kids.
Well, I think it would have to, eh? It would have to. But yeah, kids are awesome, but kids are so cool. Yeah, I actually have quite a few friends now with kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked, man. I'm like, am I at that age now where it's like normal? Like, I think I am. It's fucking normal, man. No. Anyway, from what I said before, that was a total joke. If you do have a kid and you're young, like, that's fucking totally fine. Like, I was just fucking with... I know people are going to watch this and get, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? But no, I was kidding. But yeah, so... But yeah, man, having a kid would be fucking weird. I couldn't see myself with
Just
a
a
kid.
complete life changer. Like,
Complete
it
life
would
changer.
change all my goals. Just my whole trajectory of life would be like, boo boo.
Yeah, I think same with me. It would definitely change like how I thought my life would end up. Well, maybe not.
Like, I want to travel. How does that? You know, you have a kid and stuff. Like,
Just put it on a little.
you could still do it. It just very limits you.
Like The Hangover with fucking
What if you go clubbing
Carlos.
in Ibiza? Where does the kid go?
fucking on you.
Just
Just partying with it, and it's just like
Loves
dummy
it.
in its mouth. It's just like, and every other cunt with a dummy in their mouth because they're like chewing their gum.
Yeah, I think
Caps
they.
and shit.
I was gonna say they have a dummy for a little bit of a different reason, but
They'll be like trying to steal it off the baby. Oh, use that cunt.
reminds me of Defcon.
Yeah, literally any rave ever. Yeah, but yeah, for fucking 100%, man. Yeah, that would be a weird realization, but it does. I think it does. It would make you grow up
That's
very quick. It definitely matures people, probably for the best.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know many people with kids that haven't become good people or better people
Exactly,
than they
yeah.
were.
Because they're like, okay, well, this kid is now my responsibility.
Exactly. I think most people smarten up, and the people who don't and they don't look after their kid properly, well, you know, they didn't deserve to have the kid in the first place, really. So, but yeah, no, it's interesting. That's a cool thing. Do you want kids? Are you going to have kids in your life?
Definitely. Fuck
Yeah?
yeah. I want a tribe.
Yeah.
Straight up, I do, bro.
Fuck, because there's, we're dwindling on the Gorsies around here, aren't we?
Bro, do you know how many siblings my dad had?
How many?
He was one of 14.
Oh my god.
Bro, I want at least 6.
Fucking, how many cousins do you have?
Oh,
You're probably
fucking
related to
so
half
many.
of Australia.
Fucking probably.
Fucking be careful, you fuck.
Mate, don't worry about me. For
I
one,
know.
I'm dating an
You're
Aussie girl.
Yeah,
And I
that's
have
it.
a rule. A little
Don't
stupid
say-
rule. No what girls.
No. Oh, okay.
To an extent, because man, you know, none
You
is
never
not
do know.
none is not around anymore to do the family tree check, and I don't want to get old Tasmanian here, so
Yeah, don't want your kids coming out with 6 fingers and fucking
bro, fuck that.
looking
That'd be
like
the
they should
worst.
be picking apples at Bilpin. or
Imagine
something.
finding the love of your life and then find out she's your second cousin.
Oh,
It's my nightmare, isn't it?
that would be fucked. Although I suppose the royal family's sort of like that, aren't they? They're all related in a way, aren't they?
Probably, I don't know.
I think they are. Pretty sure Prince Philip was like cousins with Queen Elizabeth.
Keep the bloodline pure, Egyptian type shit.
That's it, man. I love when they call like people like Kate Middleton like a commoner. A commoner? Like she's a commoner. She's
a
got
bit
like 3
degrading.
family members with like $1 billion. I'm like,
Yeah.
righto. Fucking commoner. Fuck off. Come to the Hawkesbury, you'll find some real fucking commoners, mate.
Nothing but kings and queens around here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a couple of kings here. Takes the radio right there. That's where we film it, by the way. You didn't know. Did mention that last week. So let's talk about RVG Media. When did you start it? How'd you start it?
Yeah.
And you're still going with it.
Yeah.
And where do you want to end up with it?
Alright, so I started it in 2018, I believe. 2018. That was when I was in that point in time. There was a I had really truly had fuck all friends. Like I was known by no one. You know what I mean? I was just like all I did was literally work, carpentry, gym, home, work, gym. Anyway, I got a message off Ryan Morgan one day, one of my mates. And he's like
him too.
yeah, he's like, come to the city. He's like, come to the city. We're going to take some pictures. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I literally bought a camera like a year ago. It was sitting on the shelf, this shitty little Nikon thing. And they're like, oh, come shoot. I'm like, oh, chucked the camera on auto, bro. Fucking went out, shot, had the best time of my life, man. Like truly fell in love. Like we done like urbex and whatever. That cringy shit. We were like 18, but genuinely had a lot of fun, and I've always been business minded, entrepreneurial minded. Like, how can I monetize this? And like, I was like, holy fuck! I was like, this is really fun. Anyway, a week later, I spent $600 on a Canon Canon 60D it was.
Okay, yeah.
And then started shooting with that. Loved Canon. And then the week after that, I spent 6,500 on a Canon 5D Mark III.
Fucking hell.
Really kitted up, and I was like, I'm going to make something of this. And I had so many people telling me, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Why do you spend that much money on a camera? It's just a hobby. This will pass. This, that.
No.
I'm just like, I want to make something of this. They're like, there's already event photographers. There's always this and that. I'm just like,
but you can be the best.
I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do events, to be honest. That was in the beginning. I was like, I want to do portraits. I like portraits. So I started doing portraits, and then someone messaged me, and they were like, hey, like, have you ever done an event before? I definitely hadn't done an event before, but I was like, yeah, I've done an event. Like, so I was like that, and I went out there.
It's always good to lie.
Oh,
when it comes to business,
fake it till you make it in a sort of way.
Man.
But
my resume's all fucking bullshit.
So I went out to this event. It was a 21st. I shot the event. Absolutely everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. All my pictures were very overexposed from the waist up, underexposed waist down. All this sort of thing happened. I was very I wasn't as socially. I wasn't very social, to everyone. I wasn't talking as much as you should as a photographer. You really have to be a social butterfly.
Yeah.
You have to talk to everyone, and if you don't know it, it's like you have to just build that connection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I did that first event. At the time, I was actually banned on Facebook for some stupid shit that I did, and so I couldn't even post the pictures. So then there's a 2-week wait, and all this, just everything that could have went wrong. And then after that event, I actually said to myself, I said, you know what, events aren't for me. I'm not doing them anymore. This isn't my line of photography. And then I had someone else message me for an event after that event, and I'm just like, oh, well, I'll do them. I'll get a bit of money for tonight. Did it. Went really well. I was like, okay. And then I started doing more events and started improving, and then just upgraded gear and really I was obsessed, man. First year, everything. I was every night studying how can I get better, this, that. And now I've shot about 150 events. Absolutely love it. Business is fucking booming.
150 events. That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
Business is
well, that's how
booming.
I first met you.
Yeah. And I love it. It's when I'm shooting, I truly feel in my element. I love being social. I'm very extroverted in that sense and in that setting. Just love talking to people. Yeah, it's really fun.
I mean, I had a bit of a taste of it last night.
So that was good.
Flood relief. And you do feel like a sick cunt, don't you?
That's really fun.
You walk around with a camera, automatically you feel like a sick cunt. I just stop your nose for funny.
It's just awesome to it's awesome the places that it takes you to. Just last weekend alone, I went on a cruise ship on Sydney Harbour, done a dual 21st there, and then the next night I was in where was I? Near Darling Harbour again, Pyrmont or something. And I done a 40th there. There's really high ballers there, man. Everyone was developers, and I was like, wow. I was like, I can't believe that I'm getting paid so much money to hang out with these people, take pictures of them, and man, as I said before, I'm very business minded. I'm not just hanging there doing my photography. I'm networking, man. I'm talking to everyone, cards, this, that. Who are you? Can I get your number? Just building, man.
I was like that last night.
Yeah, fucking right. You got to be, man. That's not what you know. It's who you know.
100%. I mean, I've got this gig now that I do full time, a lot because of who I know.
Yeah.
My friend is our editor at the paper I work for as well. So, I went to uni with her. So, very cool to have those connections. I mean, it's not like, fucking you'll just get the gig. You've got to be talented as well, obviously.
Exactly, man.
But if you got the talent, that's the next step to it, is knowing people and going out of your way to meet people and talk to everyone. Just talk to everyone.
Gift of the gab, man. You got to be able to talk.
100%.
You can. 100%. I know amazing photographers, and they tried to dabble in the event photography game. I'm not going to name any names, but I know some fucking phenomenal photographers, and just because they're a little bit more introverted, they didn't quite stick it, because you can't be in the corner of the room and hoping someone comes up to you. You need to be able to approach the motherfucking scariest looking guys, the girls that just look like they would fucking just reject the fuck out of you for anything. You have to be able to just be rejected. Sometimes, man, I walk up to people, especially in some sketchy clubs and stuff like that, and I'm like, "Do you want a photo?" They're like, "The fuck, we want a photo for me?" And fuck off. Like, cool. It's cool. Don't take it personally. And that's, you have to have that attitude, because if you take shit to heart, you'll 100%. You'll fuck up.
Yeah, I agree. That's cool. So where do you want RVG to end up? What's the main goal for it?
Yeah, well, definitely want to stay in the line of events, But in terms of like, you know, I'm 21 now, and so like, I still want to do birthday parties and stuff like that, but I don't want to be like a 40-year-old photographer shooting 16ths. Like, I feel like there is a bit of you need to have a connection to the demographic in a sense, you know, otherwise it just really doesn't gel, right? But yeah, so I would like to move into weddings. That's my end sort of goal.
Big money.
Yeah, money too. But yeah, just capturing those moments for the people.
It is. It's good. It's
And just
weddings are
rewarding,
beautiful,
man.
aren't they?
Rewarding, not literally not even money, but like obviously the money's involved, but like just the whole thing of like, oh my fucking, like you captured the best moment of my life. I love these photos.
Yeah.
That is so like rewarding, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is cool. I mean, my brother just got married, first weekend of May, and like we took these, it's just some of the photos they took. I was like, fuck, that's awesome, man. Like you'd love to be that photographer.
It's
you
art,
would fucking
man.
love
It's honestly phenomenal.
Because some of the photos are just fucking beautiful, eh? And I'm like, fuck, man. And I got to see all that because I was in the wedding party. You know, I was best man, so I was in all of the photos. But I got to see like the moments of them too.
Yeah.
And then when you see it, like you see lots of wedding photos on Facebook and that, but like to see it get taken and then see it, you know, the final product.
Exactly.
It's like, wow, that's
Like they can
incredible.
turn that into that. Like how? You know what I mean?
Crazy. Got to be super talented, but yeah, no, that's cool, man. That's cool. Fucking, you're a little fucking hustler, aren't you? You're a fucking little baller. That's mad. That's really cool. So other than that, so you still you're a carpenter, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, carpenter full time.
Yeah.
And then RVG on the weekends.
RVG on the weekends. Yeah, I definitely want to open.
Do you sleep at all?
Huh? No, I do. I have a very good time scheduling. I'm very, very big on that. Time scheduling weekly, monthly, and you know, just like you have to, because if you don't, I'm prone to like procrastinate if I don't set a schedule. So I'm like, you know, I've got a podcast with Matty G here, and then I'm at the gym after, and then, you know, go home, cook. You have to really set it out. You set intention. I'm big on intention, because if you don't, fucking life will happen and you just don't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know, I'm the same actually, especially now more so than ever with everything going on. I fucking hardly have time to breathe. But but if I don't set out exactly what I need to do and when I need to do it, I'm fucked. Like I'm straight up, I'll forget something, I'll fucking just not do something. I'll be like, oh well, fuck it, I'll do it. You know.
Yeah.
And you get lethargic and you get lazy and but to have like a set thing every day, waking up like, this is what I got to achieve today. This is what I got to do. This at this time. I've been called in to do this. This is maybe a curveball, but I'll fit this in here.
Adaptability.
Yeah, you've got to be adaptable, man.
Massively, bro.
100%.
People like, I set schedules. There has not been one day that the schedule goes exactly as I planned.
Yeah.
You know why? Because life happens. Every single day life happens.
I know.
Someone needs this happens. Someone like you.
And
you
to
have
the
to
people,
work with life.
to the people who are like, oh, I'm just so busy, man. It's
Oh, bro.
no, you're not, man.
People who
you're not
tell
busy,
me
you're lazy.
People who tell me they're busy, I say, plan out your day to the hour. May
Yeah.
seem monotonous or whatever, but I just want to see what you're so busy with. And they're like, oh, okay, well, I work. I'm like, okay, that's 8 hours. What are you doing with the other, bloody, what is it, 16?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, well, I guess, like, yeah, because they're like, I got to go home and cook. Okay, well, there's 2 hours. You still got this many? Like, they're just like, oh, well, because when you actually plan it out, I got this off Elon Musk, time boxing. You have a lot more fucking time than you think, and you can achieve a lot more than you think in 24,
Heaps
in
more
12
time.
hours. Like,
Yeah, heaps more time than you think.
just excuses.
It is just excuses,
100%,
and I mean we're all guilty of it. I
Yeah.
think. I know I am. You know, you'll think, "Fuck, I wish I had more time to do that," and you'll be like, "Fuck, I just spent an hour on my phone in bed.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck am I doing?"
Phones
Like,
are killers, yeah.
Yeah, biggest killer. I mean, I do a lot on my phone as well for different things like this podcast and things like that, and promoting stuff and. But a lot of the time I waste just fucking around on there and going through Instagram and going through Facebook or messaging people that I don't really need a message. Or, things like that. But no, it is interesting. I think everyone needs to get better at time management.
Yeah.
And then the world would just be fucking ticking along a
Yeah.
lot better than it is.
I think people underestimate what they can achieve.
I agree.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm literally like working full time now. I've got RVG Media going, and I'm thinking about opening up a third thing. Like, I want to find some. I'm not sure what platform I'm going to use. Whether it's going to be like a course or like just YouTube podcast sort of things. But I've genuinely, all this sort of like spiritual stuff that I've learned. I genuinely really want to teach others, even if I get labelled as fucking whatever, crazy or whatever. for one, yeah, I'm only going to get labelled that because I'm teaching Eastern type teachings in a Western society, so that's expected. But
Yeah.
I want to find some sort of way to get this message across. And I don't even know if it's going to be monetized for now. Like, obviously, I've got bills and food that I need to buy to eat, all that shit. But like, I just want to really start on this sort of thing because just also like contributing. I love to contribute. I love to help others. And I want to be the person that I wish I had when I was going through those times.
Yeah.
Like I was, bro. And with mental health, let's talk mental health a bit. In my darkest points, you know, everyone says it's not weak to speak, this, that, like, oh, message me if you want, message me if you need. Bro, when you're in the midst of depression or when you're in the midst of a depressive state or like just in the lowest point, you do not want to message anyone. You do not even want to get up off your chair, bro. You'll be laying down in your chair like,
Yeah.
And you feel like a burden, man.
Yeah, no, you do, and especially it's even worse if you do reach out to someone and you don't get the response.
They brush it off.
Yeah, not that they. Yeah, it's not even that they brush it off, but sometimes you get a half-assed response, and that's not on them, right? It's not their job to be your fucking counselor. It's not, you know. But when you're in that state, if you do reach out and you do get not the response you really kind of wanted, or it didn't really help, or whatever it may be, it can really put you in that mindset of I'm never reaching out to anyone again.
Exactly.
You know?
You tried once. And
tried once, and I'm not going to put myself through that again. That was too embarrassing, or it was too much of a failure, or whatever it may be. For me now, going through it a bit more, as soon as I get inklings of any of that, I do reach out before it gets to that point that you don't want to talk to anyone. Because that does. Obviously, it does help. I'm a big believer in it does help, but you've got to hit it early, and you've got to really knuckle out what it is that's making you upset. Sometimes there is nothing. Sometimes it's just a fucking it is a chemical imbalance, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe in that, or
we can touch on that definitely?
Okay, yeah. Because for me, I think once you go through it, you start to get inklings that it's sort of affecting you or how it's going to affect you. And I think if you just reach out really quick, it can really help. Yeah. Yeah. I think it can.
Yeah.
As long as they're a good friend and you can trust them and they actually give good advice. And
well, even in the sense of like you said before that, they're not your therapist, whatever. Because personally, before I even learned about these teachings, I was always there for people. But if someone came to me saying, "Hey, Ricky, like I'm experiencing really negative thoughts, really heavy emotions," like they come to me, I was never taught. Like I didn't even know how to handle my own emotions and thoughts. How am I meant to help them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not actually taught how to do that stuff. So when someone comes to us, yes, we can comfort them. I'm here for you, but we don't actually know how to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though being there for someone, just their presence alone does a lot. You know what I mean?
It definitely does do a lot.
The support,
just to feel that there's someone out there who just to be understood. I think that's what majority of people want the most, is to be understood, and to feel like they're not, alone in those thoughts, or that they're not experiencing something that other people haven't experienced before as well. I guess
let's just get some stigma around the whole mental health thing off the chest. Everyone, no matter what anyone says, no matter how positive a person is, everyone experiences negative thoughts. Everyone experiences negative emotions, and everyone goes through dark times. Even though a lot of people don't talk about it, especially social media, it's like a highlight reel. No one's gonna post about how sad they feel. So don't fall into the habit of comparison, because it's, you're not comparing yourself to them. You're comparing yourself to their altered highlight reel version of them. That's massive, man. Like people, that's the whole thing of that's why a lot of people don't reach out. They feel alien. They feel like they're going through this alone. No, everyone experiences this shit. I'm a very positive person. I've experienced the darkest times of my life. Everyone experiences it. That was a big thing for me. Like, I'm not the only one going through this sort of stuff. Everyone experiences shit like this.
Yeah.
Like, we don't feel alone, Like, we're all here with the same sort of...
And that's what social media's done, I guess, hasn't it? It's created this fucking bullshit.
Massively.
It's a bullshit world. Massively. It really is. And if you're feeling like shit, my biggest advice is get the fuck off social media. Just fucking get off it. Like,
Who posts when they fail to tests?
Yeah.
Who posts when they fucking didn't buy that car because they don't have enough savings?
so yeah,
Like,
or,
No one, man.
yeah.
That's the thing. It's ridiculous. But see, I try with my social media. I try to be fucking authentic as possible. Bro, I put videos up and posts about like how I'm feeling, things I've gone through, this, that, just to push that thing of like, I'm like, we're real. This isn't some bullshit that, I go to the gym 7 days a week. I never miss a day. And I work hard all the time. No, I sleep in every now and then. You know, I miss workouts. I fuck up. I eat bad. Fuck all this shit, man. I'm human. Everyone's human. We all fuck up. Like, it's not a, no one is as perfect as they portray themselves to be.
100%. Yeah. I mean, it's such a comparison world we live in now, where it's like, oh fuck, like most of the brands these days become big brands because some fucking dumb bitch on Instagram's using it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Old dumb cunt. Like, fucking, oh, they use it, so I'm gonna go out and spend fucking $60 on a fucking thing that I can get on fucking, you know,
Bro, consumerism.
like, yeah, you know, like, it's just so dumb. Like, what's an example? I'm trying to think of an example without, like, you know, talking shit about an actual brand.
No, I feel you don't even need to mention an example. Like, it's so apparent. And like,
yeah, like some shitty fucking activewear or something. Like, it fucking costs you $150. That's the same fucking material as the shit that costs you $20.
Exactly.
Like, but I'll buy that because fucking so and so who was on fucking The Bachelor is fucking wearing it. Like,
don't go broke trying to look rich.
Exactly.
That's one of my biggest things. Like, I can be like, to be honest, I could have the most money in the bank. I could have fucking investment properties, stocks, all this fucking shit going on for me. For one, I don't like to talk about that stuff with people. I don't like to brag about financials or anything like that. It's just not like, money's important, yes, but I don't want people to perceive me associated with the money. You know what I mean?
And know how much you've got.
Yeah,
and things like
that's one of my like main private things. Just money, man, because I don't like, you know, people are envious. For one, there's a very envious world in some sense, and
a user world. People would, you know, could come in. Rich fucking people have a lot of people hanging on them because they're fucking rich, and
bro, I love wearing
that money dries up. They'd go, see ya. You know,
I love wearing humble ass clothes, bro. It's fucking mad. Like, I like a good shirt every now and then. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I wear nice things, but I fucking work hard and I buy it. You know, so, and I don't buy it just because it's like a brand or something, right? Because it like looks like fresh shit.
If you genuinely like it,
yeah.
A lot of people dress in certain brands to portray themselves as a certain individual, or try and portray themselves as a set wealth category, when in reality, look at Bill Gates, bro. He dresses in fucking nothing. I know, I'm pretty sure you don't like Bill Gates for this whole
fucking hate it.
yeah, I thought so. But like, the richest people dress the fucking, like, those people with gold chains and all this shit.
I know.
Half the time, man, that's fake money. That's their life savings on their neck. Like,
yeah, I know. It's like, I remember a mutual friend of ours, but we won't say who it is. Used to say, "Oh man, like, I want to get those Gucci shoes."
I know who it is.
We won't say it.
No.
But
good guy. I genuinely love him.
Yeah, I fucking love him too.
True death. Like, best mate. Fucking.
Yeah, legend. Friends for a fucking very long time. But
no one makes me laugh.
I'd go, shut the fuck up. You got 1,000 in the bank. And you want to buy $800 fucking shoes? No. You're fucking crazy, man.
Exactly,
You're crazy. You know who's buying those shoes? People who are making $10,000 a week or $20,000 a week, that they can just get rid of that. Like, it's a percentage sort of thing, you know. That's how I look at things anyway. Like, if I make, you know, 50 grand a year, I can go on a $10,000 holiday that most other people, but who are making $10,000 a year, might go for a weekend away.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just see everything as like a percentage sort of thing. Like, you know, buy what you can afford.
I'm big on like minimalism, and like, I'm very like anti materialistic. Like, I'm not saying you do, so don't take this as this, but I don't get joy out of, like, sure, I love some nice material things and all that, but I'm not like, I need that new car, like, because that'll make me feel good. And I'll show you why. Like, feelings and shit don't really affect what I do in life, because as I said before, I'm like, I view them objectively, sort of thing. So my joy comes, it's like my joy is like a natural joy, and it comes beyond thoughts and emotions. So it doesn't matter what's going on realistically, because it's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, you were talking about imbalances in terms of chemical imbalances.
Yes, chemical imbalances. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you? Because I know there's been like a bit of a debate on that, if it's actually like true or not, or whatever. I mean, the science is there. That's true. I believe there is.
Yeah.
But I also don't believe that drugs should be the answer to.
Right. So I definitely think chemical imbalancement is a true thing.
Yes.
It's scientifically proven. Anyone who kind of says anything against that is like,
Yeah.
really, like the science is there.
They're sort of like the Scientology fucking
like anxiety.
What's his name? Tom Hanks.
Anxiety, depression. They're very, very real things, and a lot of my messages may come across as like, oh, just don't worry about your thoughts, like they're not real, sort of thing. But it's not like that. Fucking anxiety, depression, thoughts like that, they can fucking destroy you. So don't take it like I'm saying just like don't worry about them like that. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily matter what your neurosis is. And neurosis, I'm referring to thoughts, emotions, sort of thing. It doesn't necessarily matter what they are. The main thing is your relationship towards them. So you could have the most negative thoughts, or you could have the most positive thoughts. You could have the heaviest negative emotion, or you could have the most joyful, light feeling. It doesn't matter, because, as I said, that's still in duality. You need to truly experience what I'm trying to get across is like, you need to be able to view these things subjectively, regardless to what they are. And it's really important to view them without judgment, resistance, or attachment. Now, because if you judge it, it's a form of resistance, and then it persists. That's how emotions work. I'm for sure you know this, but like with an emotion, say you try not to feel your anger, you try and suppress it, it comes back 100 times heavier. Yeah. And then resistance, that's another form, same sort of thing. And attachment, that's literally a thought comes up in your mind, or an emotion comes up. So too many people take themselves to be that thought, to be that emotion. And as a result, it's self-perpetuating, or they get angry at themselves for being angry, and then it's like just a loop, a constant fucking loop. Like, no, just sit down, or you can do it while you're walking around if you get good at it. But like, just like view these things objectively. They're just happenings in the physical body. You don't necessarily have to. They don't have to. You don't allow them to ruin your day. I have a negative thought, right? I have negative thoughts every single day. Let me just state that. Just because I'm on the path of like enlightenment or whatever, does not mean that I don't have negative thoughts. Doesn't mean I just walk around happy as fuck. I'm a Buddhist, like whatever. It's like, I still have all this sort of thing. I still have the whole range of the human experience every single other person has. Negative emotions, happy emotions, sadness, jealousy, envy, all that sort of shit. It's just, I don't identify with them. They arise within the mind. I simply view them without judgment, resistance, or attachment, and it passes. And it's good. It doesn't affect me. And it just passes. And it's just like, but if you
That's so cool.
But if you identify with these things, it dictates not only how you feel, but your actions, then your life.
That's fucking sick. That's really cool. I want to get to there. I don't think I'm there yet.
Yeah.
I'd love to get to that stage. That must be peaceful.
Right. Like,
must be
I'm talking,
peaceful.
It is peaceful to the point where it's almost like you'll be having and I've had arguments with people, but the thing is, I'm not even arguing. Like, someone could be quite literally blowing, and this is a skill that's learned, but like someone could be blowing up in my face. Yeah. The old Ricky, like I used to do boxing, all that. The old Ricky, bro, like I wanna, like let's fight, whatever, all that sort of shit. The anger's there, act on it. But the new Ricky sort of thing is like someone could be blowing up at me, absolutely blowing up, bro. I'm just sitting there, chill as, just watching them. And then what I'm also watching is the anger arising. I'm still experiencing the emotions, as I said. There's anger arising within the physical body. I can sense the emotion, and I'm just letting it dissipate. I'm just watching it. There's also thoughts that are arising. What's this cunt doing? Punch him, fucking all this shit. I'm just watching them because I'm not identifying. Anything can arise. That's what I'm saying with anxiety, depression. They are real. I'm not saying they're not real. The chemical imbalances, it alters your neurosis, but regardless to what the neurosis is, as long as you don't identify with them, view them with non-resistance and no judgment, and don't become attached to them, you will be always at peace, regardless to the external events. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's so powerful. I can't even push how powerful this is. Like, it's fucking insane how powerful it is.
It's cool. What was the first book you said?
Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now.
Power of Now. Okay, cool. Do you still have it? A copy?
Yeah, at home, definitely.
Yeah, done. I'll borrow that off you.
Yeah.
If I can.
No, that's cool. You know what the power of now introduces you to? It introduces you
like
to
being present. Or,
yeah.
yeah.
Like I literally fucking have like a present symbol there.
Is
But
that drawn or is that a tattoo?
no, fucking it's not tattoo. It's just permo. When I can, you know, get the courage to get a tattoo, or like just decide on a symbol that I like, you know, because I like it's always been the same
Get a bit of
message,
everything.
different message.
Just get a bit of everything, bro.
Yeah.
Just get more tattoos. Just keep going. I've got fucking way too many.
Yeah.
You like this one?
Oh, what the fuck? That's sick.
Leo, baby. But yeah, no, that's cool, man. Yeah, but okay, so it introduces you to being present.
Yeah, like the present moment is literally like
I don't think anyone. I would say 99% of people aren't present.
That's the thing, man. Like the present moment, it's so underrated. I read this book and it's like the portal. I don't even like speaking like this because it sounds so woo-ha, but it's like the portal to peace or the portal to a spiritual dimension. Because this is the thing. You can't be caught up in your psychological drama or melodrama and present at the same time. If I'm completely here present and engaged with you fully, anything can be happening within the mind. Anything can be happening within the body. And I'm just like viewing it like, you know what I mean? But if I'm in my head, I'm not here. You know what I mean? Or anxiety is caused by identification with thoughts based on the past. So depression is caused from identification with thoughts based on the past happenings, anything that happened in the past.
Yeah.
And anxiety is based on things that are to happen. So from the future.
That is a very... I've never heard it explained like that
Haven't
before.
you?
No.
That's why the present...
That fucking just clicked something in my brain then. That made a lot of sense.
Depression is the past and anxiety is the future.
Yeah.
And that's why the present moment is like...
So important.
It's the key. It's the ultimate reality. And it's almost like... It's just like anything other than the present moment is just melodrama. You're caught up in your head. It's all false. It's illusory. But people take it to be reality. And then when you talk about anything other than... They're like... Live in the present moment. Why are you still thinking about that? It happened 2 years ago. They're just like, oh yeah, but he did this to me, but it happened 2 years ago. Like, it's not real. Like, yes, it happened. 100% it happened. And acceptance and embracing that is a key to, you know, the realization, but it's in the past. And we're in the present moment, and it's not happening right now. So the only way it exists is in the form of a thought and emotion. And as long as you can get your relationship right with them, you'll always be at peace. Regardless to what has happened. Regardless to what is to happen. And with the what is to happen, when that does happen, guess what time it'll be? The present moment. Like it all happens in the present moment, and that's the key. You know what I mean? That was one of the main things with that book.
That's awesome. Yeah. I think we might leave it there. If you're happy to, is there anything else you want to bring up?
Let me have a quick thing.
This podcast is yours, man. I just thought that would be a nice way to end on.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's cool. I think everyone can be a little bit more present. I have definitely tried to be, probably over the past half a year or a bit more, just to really feel and take in a moment. So many people so often are you're always thinking about what comes next. What are we doing after this? And then what are we doing after this? And then what are we doing after this? And then what are we doing tomorrow? And then what are we doing the next day? And then when's the weekend coming? It's wait, what am I doing right now?
Exactly.
I'm doing a podcast right now.
You miss life.
Yeah.
Like destination.
And this is fun.
Destination happiness, bro. This is mad. This is
exactly.
awesome.
You do miss life, don't you?
100%.
You go all the way through life. You get to the end and you go, fuck.
Yeah, what happened?
What the fuck did I just do for the last fucking 80 or so years? Like, I've always been looking to the next thing. The next thing.
I got a really awesome insight on desires, right? So while I think desires and having goals and all that stuff is very important, it's very easy, and I'm victim to it myself, and this is something that I've recently just sort of like getting really good at, is not falling into destination happiness. And desire is a contract. This isn't my quote. This is Naval on Instagram. But desire is a contract we make with ourselves to be unhappy until we obtain that, right? So the whole destination happiness thing of like, oh, bro, can't wait till I get that new D-Max. Like, oh, I'll be happy once I get that D-Max. Like, all right, you won't get that D-Max until another 6 months. So you're just every day like, fuck, can't wait till I get that D-Max.
Yeah.
Can't wait. You miss the whole now, and like And then you get the D-Max, then you're like, cool.
Yeah.
Got the D-Max, it's
Yes.
fleeting, then you're like, bro, the mud flaps. I want to get those mud flaps, bro. Then it's like another month and you're like, fuck those mud. And it's always, but it's human nature to want more and more and more. And that's why if you get caught up in that cycle, you'll never be happy.
Yeah.
I tell people this, you can have the best car, the fucking everything that your fucking heart could desire, and you will always want more. You're not going to find your happiness in external things.
Yeah.
Your happiness is understanding your true nature, quite literally.
Yeah.
Like that's where the happiness comes from. And then you can quite literally play with the external, you want to do this, you want to do that. It's cool, but it's not because it's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
It's because you just want to do it. Like, and that's coming from a very different place.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, no, that is true, eh? That's fucking true, man. Because, yeah, I think a lot of people, and it's not really their fault, everyone just gets swept up in what's to come.
Yeah.
Or gets swept up in what just happened.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's there's no thought of like,
No.
this is now, right now. I think I read a quote once. It was like, I was something about this moment. I'm going to enjoy this moment, for this moment is my life. And it was like, instead of, because so many people are like, oh, like when I have kids, or like, or when I get my new job, or like when I do this, or like, I go to NIDA and people are like, like when I start auditioning, or when I start, it's like, fucking enjoy this shit, man. Enjoy this. Like,
this is life. This is life.
This is life.
Exactly.
Like, who knows what's going to happen down there? Like, work in your now for the future you want, which will one day be your now.
But don't base your fucking whole
happiness
off it.
Happiness on the future without actually paying any attention to the now. Like, I mean, I say, like, I get caught up in that too. I think
so do I. Everyone
does.
does.
We all do. I feel like we all, like, even
social media doesn't help, bro. That is literally, it pushes a lot of this.
100%.
The whole, like,
it does. Like, they're doing that. I want to do that. I can't wait till I do that.
Comparing yourself to people's timelines. That's a big thing.
Huge thing. I was actually going to bring that up when we were talking before about kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will see their friends getting married, or their friend just got a job, or their friend's now a fucking movie star, or a fucking whatever the fuck. Or they're modelling, or they've just, made it into... I mean, we live in West Sydney. A lot of our friends have made it into an NRL team or something like that. Or at least people we know. And it's like, what have I done? What have I done? And that's what everyone compares themselves to, is what everyone else is doing at that time.
But there are certain achievements that can't be shown on social media.
100%.
Spiritual progression, fucking learning self-love, all these sort of things.
That actually matter.
Bro, they're like, they will shape your life, quite literally. And like, you don't post a picture being like, just became, like all this stuff. It's less like, you not everything, the whole, for one, comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah. I love that quote. So true. And if I'm going to compare myself to anyone, it's who I was yesterday. Yeah. I'm going to improve on that. I don't care if I'm in the gym and this guy's bigger than me. I don't care if this guy's smaller than me. I don't care about, like, it's not I don't care about anyone. It's I don't care about comparison. Yeah. I'll talk to you and I'll encourage the fuck out of you. And, like, if anyone spoke to me, they'll tell you, I'm going to encourage the fuck out of you to reach your dreams, this, that. But it's never like I'm in competition with you. Ever. I've spoke to people who have event photography businesses or in the gym. It's not like, oh, well, like, you're doing better than me, man. Or like, you have a better physique than me. It's, congratulations, man. You're fucking killing it. You look amazing. You're doing fucking great. That's how you got to be. If you're operating out of a place of scarcity, bro, this is getting into some other shit, but like operating out of where you operate out of scarcity or abundance, if you operate it in business, I'm massive with this too. If I can't do a gig, I give it to someone else. I give it to another photographer. And it's not like, oh, well, they're going to take your client. It's like, no, it's because there's an abundance of work. And because I think like that, it's almost like law of attraction type shit. It comes and it's like, not only that, but when that person can't do a gig, guess who they're going to give it to?
Exactly. Yeah. That's right. Hey, yeah. I'm a big believer, I suppose that sort of touches on this, is what you give out, you get back.
Massively.
Not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes life is shit for some people.
Yeah.
That are really good people. But I think in the end, I think you get back what you give out. And law of attraction, exactly. Yeah, I think I think you do attract what if you give out good, I think you attract good. On a general level.
It's got a lot to do with like I don't want to get too into it, but like vibrational frequencies and where you're operating from. You can't, for example, if you're operating out of a fear-based vibrational frequency and you think everyone's out to get you and the world is bad and this and that, you really think that you're going to get that big business opportunity? Probably not. You really think that you're going to meet the love of your dreams? Probably not, because you see that woman looking at you at the bar as a threat. Like, what's she looking at? What's wrong with my jacket? Like, but if you're operating out of the place of abundance and happiness and gratitude and love, shit like that, she's looking at you, exact same situation, completely different paradigm. Oh, wow, she must like my jacket.
Yeah.
Let's talk to her. Boom. You're married. You got 5 kids. Like, you know what I mean? Shit like that. Like, it's massive how much I'm so, like, immensely passionate about internal work and just, like, how much it shapes the external.
Yeah.
People look way too past it and just think the only way to get shit is to work hard. Yes, it's a key component, but do not overlook this shit because it'll make or break you. Like, that's
cool, man. You're very, I feel like you've reached enlightenment. I feel like you've fucking reached it.
That's I'm going to make a little point here. There is, we're all enlightened. We just don't understand our true nature. We're already, it's like when I say to people like, you know, you are awareness, whatever. It's not like you have to become awareness. You're already awareness. It's just you take yourself to be the thoughts. That's why I used to write a thing on because it's one thing to learn a teaching. It's another thing to implement it into your life. I used to fucking, like, now I've only got like 2 little symbols on my hand because I like memorize all this stuff and it's a part of my life. But I used to fucking have some acronyms on my hand to like really get this stuff down pat. But I used to write on my hand, remain as awareness, witness, don't identify. And that had everything to do with the internal world. So like remain, not become, remain. You're already awareness. When a thought comes, just remain as awareness, bro. Just view it. It's not going to fuck anything. Like, it's just chill. Like, you know, don't base your whole fucking reality on this little thought. It's just a thought. It's just an emotion. Just let it come, let it go.
One thing I will ask you, and it'll probably be because, I don't want people listening to this thinking. Well, I mean, I don't. It's not that I don't want them to. They can think whatever the fuck they want, but in terms of, you know, it's just a thought. And I do agree. Yeah. I do agree. And things pass. Something big happens, right?
Yeah.
Something very fucking tragic. And, I mean, we live in the Hawkesbury where everyone knows everyone. We know of people's stories. You know, say someone's child dies or things like that. Do you believe what you've talked about today can still apply to situations like that?
Massively.
Yeah.
And I'll show you how. So in a tragic event, something massively devastational, you know, massive happens. Obviously, we're all going to be, whatever happens, the person who's witnessed it or involved in it's going to be traumatized, right? And you're going to be experiencing heavy emotion. That's what I'm saying. I've experienced this stuff, so I'm not saying thoughts and emotions don't mean shit. I'm saying this is how to heal, essentially. So there's going to be mass amounts of emotion, like emotional charge, and a lot of thoughts. And that's the thing. It's a loop. The emotions trigger the thoughts and the thoughts trigger the emotions. It's a big thing. So if you don't understand, it's self-perpetuating. That's why people can't get out of stuff, because that sort of thing. But for example, something really tragic happens, something really traumatic happens, there's going to be a lot of thoughts and emotions about that, right? So if that happened in the past, the first thing I would recommend to someone is accept the present moment completely. And it is hard. I'm not saying it's not going to be hard, but we need to complete acceptance. Do not wish reality was different, because that creates resistance and that creates the thought. We just have to, it's hard, but you just genuinely have to do it. Just acceptance completely. This is how life is. It doesn't matter if I wish it was this way or I wish it was that way. This is how life currently is. Complete acceptance. That'll already take a massive amount of fucking stress and guilt and all this bullshit. But there's still going to be thoughts and emotions after you've accepted the fact that this has happened. That's because you can convince yourself that, you know, this is how life is, but the internal body is still in resistance and it'll still have emotions and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
When the emotions arise, you know what people say? People speak of getting triggered like it's a bad thing, right? I have a different perspective. Someone gets triggered. For one, a trigger is when a certain emotion like arises within the physical body because of something that's happened or a thought that's happened or just whatever. When you're triggered, it is the best time. It's actually a good time because when you're triggered, you're experiencing the emotion that's been trapped in the physical body, right? So when you're experiencing the emotion, allow your body to experience it completely. There's a book I read called Letting Go by Dr. David R. Hawkins, massive on emotions and stuff like that. But it's all on like, when an emotion arises, emotions can't hurt you. While they may be heavy and some of them may feel like they're fucking breaking you inside, it's still just an emotion. So that emotion, it's trapped energy. Emotion is literally energy in motion. So just allow the emotion to run its course. Just allow it to be. Honor your emotions. You know, don't just like observe them. Honor them. Let them, like, it sounds so stupid, like speaking about emotions like this, but like, let your emotions know it's okay to be here. You know what I mean? Because otherwise suppression, repression and shit like that. Honor your emotions and let them dissipate. It may take 20 minutes, it may take 2 hours to let that emotion fully run through the body. But there's a time, and if you've experienced it, you'll know, but there's a time when that emotion will run its course and you'll feel a light sensation go over the whole body. And that's because that energy in motion, the emotion has dissipated. You have let go. That's how you heal. That's how, it's so, not many people actually know how to use that mechanism of letting go, but that's genuinely how you heal. Emotions can come and they can go. Just allow them to be. Truly honor their presence.
Yeah.
That's so important.
I once read, I forget what it was. It was either maybe a poem or like a quote or something, and I was talking about like emotions as visitors.
Oh yes,
to your home. I thought that was a really cool fucking way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Like your body's your home. You know, your physical home of that you encompass on Earth. And yeah, seeing emotions as visitors rather than as residents.
Yes, massively.
They come and go. I think that's really important. To look at, especially negative emotions. Yeah, I mean, positive ones, so fucking stick around, man.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about I learned this in the book too. The cool thing about it is, as humans, we tend to resist negative emotions. But the funny thing is, and this is, I didn't actually realize this until I read about it, is we actually resist. So when the positive emotions come, we actually resist feeling them completely. So there's like a certain thing of like, just allow yourself to feel both of them. And obviously they feel different, the negative and the thing, but it's still just a feeling. Just allow anything to come and to go.
Yeah.
If you want to get into like the whole essence of self-realization, it's like, yes, a really good way to help people experience this, because it's easy to talk about, hard to experience, right? And it sounds a little bit wahoo, whatever, but like, imagine that you're inhabiting a foreign body. All these thoughts, all these emotions, they're not yours. Just view them subjectively. Like, what sort of thoughts are you having? What sort of emotions are present? Honor them. And then that experience of inhabiting another person's body, or another body, right? Just imagine that this body is like a foreign body. That is the truth. That is how we, in my opinion, how one should live day to day. Just because truly it's just fucking joyful all the time, regardless of anything happening external. And it's a really good place to be, like, genuinely.
Yeah. I guess now I'd like you, if you'd like to just sort of I mean, it's hard to sum up everything you've talked about, because it's hard to be summed up. It's deep. It's fucking. It's should be chatted at in length. But I guess just to sum up, message to people, I guess how they can go about,
how they can implement these sort of things,
how they can implement it, and how they can reach sort of where you sort of are at in your life.
Yeah. So my summary would be: embrace and accept the present moment for exactly what it is. Do not wish it was different. Actually embrace it to the point where it's like you chose it. You want this to happen, you know? Embrace the present moment. Accept it. Embrace and accept. So that's for the external type thing. And for the internal, literally just remain as awareness and view your thoughts and emotions without judgment, resistance, or attachment. That's the key. Live in the present moment with complete acceptance and embrace it, and view your thoughts and emotions without judgment, resistance, or attachment. And that's it. That's truly where you get to an amazing place. Like, straight up.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for joining me, Ricky.
Oh, good, man. It was a pleasure.
Cheers. And remember, guys, speak free with Matty G.